Hey guys, let's talk about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. So I've already done one video talking about how we could use our calculator to add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers. Now we're going to focus on fractions. Anytime I look at a fraction and I want to type it in the calculator, and it's always a good idea because on certain problems it will make a huge difference, is I always put parentheses around my fractions. It's just going to set you up for something that I'm going to show you here on this last example on why it's super, super important. So this first one, and again in class, I showed how you could do this using doing it by hand and all that for adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. But, you know, calculators do these problems a lot quicker, and since we're allowed calculators, we're going to use them. So I'm going to type in my calculator exactly what I see on the paper. So I'm going to start with a parentheses. To do a fraction like this, the 2 over 3, the way you could do that is you use division on the calculator. So 2, division sign, 3, parentheses. This is the same as that fraction right there, 2/3. I need a plus sign, and then I need parentheses, 3 divided by 5. And when I hit enter here, I'm going to get a decimal. Now, if my problem started in fractions, I want to end with fractions. So how we're going to do that is there's this button right here that says math. So go ahead with that as your most recent thing, hit math. What you're going to see is the first option there is an arrow and then frac. What this is going to do is it's going to change whatever you want to a fraction. So hit enter. And what this says right here, it's going to take my most recent answer and change it to a fraction. So it's going to take this 1.2666667 and change it to a fraction. I hit enter and I get 19 over 15. Now, kind of the exciting thing and useful thing about that is not only does it give you an answer as a fraction, but it's also going to give you the most reduced fraction, where again, if we would have done this by hand, we're not going to get the most reduced fraction. So our next problem here, I have 8 over 7 minus 5 over 3. So my the middle sign here, that is a subtraction. So again, I'm going to go with the parentheses, and I'm going to type in exactly what I see here. Parentheses, 8 divided by 7, parentheses, minus, parentheses, 5 divided by 3, parentheses. And I get a negative 0.5238. I have no idea what that fraction is. So again, don't change anything. Hit your math. Your first option is frac, and that's going to change this decimal to the most reduced fraction. And I get negative 11 over 21. Now you'll see this third problem down, I change a little bit because I want to point something out to you. So this next one I have 3/5 times, and then I have to figure out subtraction or negative 1/8. So this is my math operation, so that means this is a negative. And a lot of times students see this and they say, well, it's right in the middle, I don't really know what to do with it. With fractions, whenever you have a negative, what you want to do is you want to take this negative and we can move it to the top. So we can do 3/5 multiplication, move the negative to the top. So negative 1 over 8. Now again, we do want to put parentheses around it, like so. So again, that negative, if you see it in the middle, that's no big deal. Just put it on top. These are the exact same thing. So I'm going to type everything into my calculator. Parentheses, 3 divided by 5, parentheses, times, parentheses, negative 1 divided by 8, parentheses. What I have in my calculator matches what's here. Hit enter, and I get another decimal. So I need to change this over to the fraction. Math, frac, first option, and I get negative 3 over 40. Final problem here, and it's a division problem. So again, use the parentheses, and I'll show you why at the end of this, why we want to do that. So I have parentheses, 2 divided by 3, parentheses, division, parentheses, 1 divided by 5, parentheses. Go in, 3.33, math, frac, and I get 10 over 3. Now, let me show you why the parentheses were so important. So if I tried to do this problem without parentheses, and I just typed in, well, I need a 2, division 3, now I need another division, 1 divided by 5, So I'm doing this with no parentheses. So as you type it in, you know what you're typing in, but the calculator doesn't understand it. That's why the parentheses are important. So if we go ahead and hit enter here, you get 0.13333. Notice already that was a completely different decimal of what I had up above. So when you do math fraction, you get 2/15. You get a completely different answer, where this is our correct answer. So that's why it's super, super important anytime you're dealing with fractions, use the parentheses. And that was adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions.